Okay.
Good morning.
We didn't see
Good
you.
morning. Yeah. No, yesterday it turned out to be a little difficult. So it was so noisy that I felt I myself will not be able to hear anything. So
Okay. Good. So I wanted to share an experience before we start. So yesterday, one minute. I'm in mobile phone. So yesterday I had a nice experience. So I was attending this advanced blend control stand-up meeting. So there is a lady called Rupa, and she was presenting something about what she has done and all that.
I'm having a lot of breaks in your. Is it only me?
Yeah. I'm also getting a lot of breaks. Not only you.
Okay.
Maybe if you can mute, I think it will become all right. Because there is some background noise also coming. Yeah, now it is clear. So hopefully the voice is clear now. Okay, so there is one lady called Rupa, and she was talking something, and then all of a sudden I started seeing how the voice comes and how this energy comes. So how this consciousness arises. So seeing like a lightning coming in, and then due to that the vocal cords will start shaking, and then how the thoughts get formed and how that is translated by the body mechanism to speak. So just like what I am speaking, so there is this discussion happening in my mind stream. So the chittas are shaking and or vibrating, that's the right word to put. So as it is vibrating, the energy is also there along with the vibration, and then it is like this electrical impulses. So it starts to expand contract, and then the it comes to the brain, and the brain will then uh, take that input and then convert the electrical impulses into the chemicals, and then the vocal cords will start to vibrate, and then comes out into open, and then outside you have this space, and also mouth has space. From that, vocal cord also has space. So from there the sound is created, and it comes into the mouth, and it comes outside. And since this space is there, the sound is already there. So whatever I am speaking actually is just an electrical impulse, which is nothing but like a lightning. So whatever lightning happens outside is the same thing which is happening inside. So I was able to see in terms of how the thoughts create the sound waves or electrical impulses, and how that is translated to a sound frequency, and how the body heats up to throw that sound frequency out. So we can see heat getting created out of that electrical impulse, which is similar to what we have in our homes equipment. It becomes heated up. So similarly the same thing happens, and if we were to pull up the fuse, and again that when we put it back, there is some sound which comes, and the light. This is the same thing what happens inside the body and inside the chitta also. So yesterday, for the very first time, I was able to see how the thoughts move. and what moves those thoughts or whatever it is. So I was able to penetrate into what this lady was telling, and I was able to see her mouth open and close, even though there was no video, but the whatever she was talking was quite evident in what she's doing. So I had a very profound experience of seeing the lightning in every movement she's making on her mouth, and the same thing would be happening throughout the body as well. So now the conclusion of that was the eyesight, the eyes, when there is rupa or form, visible form, they both are disconnected but seemingly connected by this flash of lightning. So, in that flash of lightning, the eyes will move and it connects to the medium, that is the consciousness. And then there is this grasping of that object which is seen. But that lightning will depart, and again there is a lightning, so that each movement is created by this lightning striking, going off, striking, going off, striking, going off, and the eyes will start to move and grasp that object based upon what has been perceived by the mind through conditioning in this life or in the previous life. So yesterday I could experience on the senses what is meaning of the senses and what really it means of experiencing the sense objects. So who is sensing it? It's the mind who is sensing it. The chittas are sensing it. And who is the sensor? The sensor is the consciousness. And what is it connecting to? It is connecting to the sense objects. Sense objects are non-moving in nature. They are made out of 5 elements. And the senses go behind these 5 elements in order to grasp them, because the movement is created by the consciousness. So when the consciousness departs completely from the body, it's called as death. So by the time they finished that stand-up meeting and it went to half an hour, I was fully enjoying the whole conversation of Ganesh and all the other people, and Rupa discussion on the project and all that. I'm seeing like a movie shown to me when there are nobody there. It's just these electrical impulses coming, going, and there's some sound coming here, some expression coming there. And it was a very funny experience, and yet a very profound experience. So that's all I wanted to share before we start on the 7th chapter. Any questions or anything you want to ask?
So you are in the listening mode fully, and something that picture is moving within you, like fully focused yogic mood.
Yeah. So for the very first time yesterday, I didn't require to get into deep meditation. It just happened.
So when you are doing this, you are connected with their chitta, right?
Yes.
And some information is flowing from their chitta to you. During that time, what happens to them? Because now you are connected. You are a superior soul, and they are a normal soul. what happens to them during that time? Are they getting something very clear idea, that sattvic idea?
No.
Sometimes it can go to even rajasic also. A lot of discussions, negotiations, and all that.
No, they didn't even. No, they didn't even know that I have penetrated through them.
But in the spirituality, if anything is connected through this, say, flow of information, but other person also will have some positive impact, right?
Yeah, they would have felt calmness or whatever. I don't know, but it was a very nice experience of 8-9 people in the call, and then I am not focusing. It's just happening that to see that how these electrical impulses are moving. So basically, it's like a spark plug that you have in the vehicle. It just sparks, and things will start moving. So all our body actions, eyes and ears and tongue and nose and all of that is the same kind, including the thoughts.
Okay.
So I did not feel that what would be the state of their mind, because that was not what I was doing, or I didn't even know that I'm doing this. It only later I came to know that I'm doing something extraordinary. So all the effort of the spiritual thing I had, I could see it yesterday. What is really consciousness means when you see it. I mean, how the mind is perceiving it. It's a very nice experience. So that changed a lot of things in just half an hour. My whole conceptualization or thinking or all that understanding I had totally changed. So I felt...
I did not really understand what your experience was.
That is a problem. See, what is the experience is that...
So you just explained something, but then I really did not understand.
Yeah, you need to experience it. So what I was trying to say... Yeah, what I was trying to say, Lata, is that now that your talking is happening because of the electric currents.
Right.
And when you see that, you will come to know what is meaning of consciousness. That's all.
Okay.
That's all but it is a profound experience. That's all. Meaning.
Yeah. So I think when you are telling, it doesn't sound profound, but you have to experience it to realize it is profound.
Yeah, and then we know that it is an impersonal thing. Otherwise, it is a personal thing, right? It becomes like I am talking and I am seeing and I am sensing and all that, right?
Correct. These are all kinds of instruments kept everywhere, and it is impersonally powering it up wherever it is required.
Yes, and it just comes and goes. But when the mind sees it for itself, it drops that craving or attachment towards it. See, now, let us say you were to say to me that it is not profound. Let us say as an example. Right? Intellectually, I know that you are talking, but when I see that it is just an electric current, what is that you expect me to do? Nothing. But in a general person, even he has a good knowledge of spirituality, might feel bad or sad or tries to give further more details, try to convince and all that. So that wouldn't happen. So that's the difference I'm finding.
Yeah. So I think it has to be experienced by yourself.
Yes, that has to be experienced by yourself. See, now we say that, okay, Brahman. So this is how the attributes of Brahman. It has it is Ananta, and it doesn't have any interest on anything. It just is there. And all that we have read, heard, understood all that. But we have never experienced it, right?
Right.
Now comes when you experience it firsthand. When you are talking, when you are seeing, when you are sensing, you are able to see that it is that which is watching you.
Yeah.
It changes your whole opinion of everything.
Correct.
But then that cannot be explained, because now I cannot show you electric current, so I have to only give you a example.
Simile. Yeah.
Simile,
You can
like,
only give it as an example. I understand what you're trying to say. Yes.
yeah, so it's like exactly like a lightning. Okay, and it comes and goes. It just connects and goes, and again connects and goes, and connects and goes, just like the switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. So the instrument starts to move. That is, my mouth will start to move, hands will start to move, legs will start to move. But if that thing is not working, it is not connecting, then it doesn't move.
It doesn't move. Yeah, correct.
And that movement is happening in the chitta. So that is the main CPU. Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen in the hand or legs or anywhere. It happens in the chitta, and the chitta now has the power to move it.
Yes.
So the profound experience that day, what I explained to you on the breath, where the one breath can lift the whole body, is being lifted by this electric current. So that chit, what we talk about Satchit Ananda, that chit is that electric current. It has no bias, it has got no opinion, it has got nothing. It is just in a state.
It's just there. So like that, I have conceptualized like this. It is a kind of, what do you say, particles or whatever.
Correct.
Spread across everywhere. It is coming and moving everywhere.
Correct.
It is coming inside our body, going outside of the body. It is there everywhere. So, and particle or wave or whatever it is.
Correct.
So, I don't know. That's the kind of thing which comes to my mind, and it is full of blue and particles. I don't know. That is the thing which comes to my mind.
Okay. Good. So the day you experience this one, you will be able to connect that particle and wave and all that, whatever we have learned in quantum physics and quantum mechanics, you will come to see.
Yeah.
And it's so nice. Once you see that, you feel, oh, what a bullshit thing I was doing all throughout my life. So the whole thing gets transformed in an instant. So yesterday I was laughing at everything, whatever was happening. Meaning there is no reality as we are seeing it as reality. The people are doing this, doing that. I did this, I did that. It looks so weird.
Yeah, but for you also it comes and goes. It doesn't stay.
Everyone.
What do you say? Much higher level than any of us. So that's why I'm asking.
No, it comes and goes, but that frequency is, you will be able to see it. See, the mind is able to see it. Now we have to first understand who is the seer and who is he seeing and what is he seeking. So let us understand that. The seer is the mind. Mind has energy, that we call it as Atma. Okay, now when we just did Atma Samyama Yoga, what it means is that you are putting control over that mind so that it sees who the real seer is. Which is this light or lightning or whatever we want to call. Right?
Yeah. See, actually, when you do this kind of awareness meditation, it is very obvious that who is actually the seer, where it is appearing, everything.
Yes. So this lightning is the witnesser. It just witnesses whatever this mind is doing, but it doesn't get connected to the mind. Okay. Whereas the mind has an attachment to itself. Because it happens so fast, it is able to see that the body is moving, the ideas are moving, everything is moving. It considers that it itself is doing it, and that is called mithya.
Yeah, correct. So I think all this movement is mind. If there is no movement, there is no mind.
Yes. So now what happens here in a state where the person experiences complete samadhi. When we say he is in nirguna or nirvikalpa samadhi, what really happens is that he which is there is off. So the chittas get frozen. There's no he now. So when the chittas are frozen, there is no experiencer other than the lightning. So it cannot grasp, the mind cannot grasp the lightning because that lightning cannot be held. So what basically happens is the mind goes on a sleep mode for as many days as one wishes.
Yeah, correct. So it will not be able to perceive anything. Only when you come back,
yes,
then you will be able to a little bit remember what exactly.
No, you will not remember, but you will have a complete transformation that you are not that person.
Correct.
There is nothing like yesterday when I saw it. I am now 100% sure in my mind it is not me.
Okay.
Now I can't show you, I can't showcase it, I can't do anything except for just enjoying or just celebrating whatever I saw.
Yeah.
Okay, but if I am celebrating, it is I who is celebrating. So again the mind is celebrating.
Correct.
But that what was coming has no celebration, has no fault, has no expectation, has nothing.
Correct.
And that's all what it is. So the Brahmananda, Atmananda, what I understood yesterday after this thing happened. Atmananda is that this Atma, which is consisting of the mind and the electrical impulses, would agree that it has got nothing to do with externalization. That is the external inputs which are coming through five sense objects, and that will go away. So there is a complete peace in that arising and passing away of these chittas. So the chittas are well in control. They don't go towards negativity and aspiring this and aspiring that. All those kind of tendencies don't really exist. Whereas when we see the Brahmananda, the mind itself doesn't exist in the way all the chittas are frozen. So it doesn't power up anything. So when it doesn't power up anything on the chittas, it just is what it is. So it doesn't move. There is no movement. So the lightning is seen, but then it doesn't make the chittas go behind something because there are no chittas for it to go. So this is the nearest I can explain.
Yeah, I understood. So you have explained the senses and this many times. So now we have experienced in a different way.
Yeah.
Same thing.
It can be only same thing in a different way. There can't be anything different than whatever we have understood so far.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Any question from Bhatt and Padmashri? Otherwise, we'll go on the 7th.
We can go ahead with the next one.
Okay, there was one question. Okay, there was one question on online, so let me answer to that person. But how are the thoughts generated? Thoughts are generated by chitta. And what is chitta? Then itself is then we have to go through Patanjali Yoga Sutra to understand what is a chitta, because chitta is the starting point of how thoughts get created. Okay, so now we start on the 7th chapter. He is now coming to a student and teacher. This is exactly the one what Shankaracharya started on when he explained on the Viveka Chudamani. Who is the student and who is the teacher, and preparing the student for taking on the next steps. So he says, Krishna says that there is one easy way for you. If the Atma Samyama Yoga, the Dhyana Yoga Marga is not suitable for whatever reason for you, then I have something for you. And that is, you put your mind intention on me and you practice yoga and taking refuge in me. And without any doubt whether this is going to help me or not, or help you or not. And samagraham mam, that is completely, comprehensively, you just take about me. So, yatha jnasyasi tat shrinu, meaning the way you shall know, that way you shall hear. That means you'll automatically start to get information what is required for your sadhana. So he's saying that my mind is the most purest. So you make yourself as me. That's the first thing you need to do. So many people, they go by Krishna because the Krishna mind is pure. So his true nature is a pure mind. And because my mind is pure, you can surrender to me because I don't have ego. That's what Krishna says. That will help you to meditate more profoundly on my nature. So when you do a meditation on Krishna, you are meditating on his attributes, not the idol Krishna, on his mind. His mind is devoid of raga, dvesha, moha. He didn't have any attraction for something, he didn't have any repulsive tendencies for something, and he didn't believe that he existed. So there is no moha. He always stood for dharma. So if somebody would like to do that, yogam yunjan mada ashraya, so he can take ashraya, refuge in me, by focusing on my true nature. And when you do that, the raga, dvesha, moha in you will get removed. Thus, you will be able to achieve my state. So, let's say, if not Krishna, I want to do for Shankara, or I want to do with Madhvacharya, or Ramanujacharya, or Buddha, or Jain, or whomever I think in my mind is the purest. And that is the one I need to do. So here comes a bigger problem for a normal person. Now we have in every home, this puja room is filled with 100 different kinds of gods and goddesses. And we have many books written on them, and there are stutis, and there are shlokas, there are mantras, there are so many things which are there. An example that can be found is that, let us say I want to do Satyanarayana Puja. Now the story, if I were to see it, it doesn't talk anything about liberation. It is a normal, mundane way of living. You'll get some money, you'll get some position, you'll get some property, you'll get this, you'll get that, which is fair. But then that is not what it is. So in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that the Veda talks about the Kamya Karma, and they set a Karma Kanda for you. Don't go near them. You have to transcend the Rajas, Tamas, Sattva. And Veda talks about Triguna, and they stay only in Triguna. So you have to be careful enough to go towards the Veda which covers the transcendental part of it and not going only to the this sattva rajas tamas. So when we put on a deity, it generally drives you to sattva rajas tamas and comes an aspiration. Whereas the Krishna in here is without any aspiration. The only goal is to liberate. And Krishna is the only person from the Mahabharata time to the Bhagavad Gita that one can see that he was unbiased. He went through the normal route, absolutely true. He had wives and he was enjoying, he was doing all about that, but without a sense of attachment to it. So one who follows Krishna would get liberated for sure. But there's a tricky part here. The tricky part is the person might get associated with Krishna and creates a raga for Krishna. If Krishna were to appear in front of me, that creates raga. In the Krishna doesn't appear and I've done everything to satisfy Krishna, then I might get into dvesha. And I want to lead many lives in order to meet Krishna, which is moha. So I might land myself into raga, dvesha, moha, wherein Krishna doesn't have any of these three. He had transcended himself from sattva, rajas, tamas also. So he is giving an option to Arjuna. Well, if you are a person who cannot really make that stride yourself, then you can take my help. So he's saying that asamshayam, don't have any doubt, I will definitely guide you. Samagram, so you are going to understand everything about me because I have the pure consciousness. And he says that Jnasasi, Jnasyasi. Jna is to know. You will come to know what has to be known. And once you know, there is no need to know anything further. Tat Shrunu. He is saying that Tat Tvam Asi, that is the same Tat. Shrunu is now listen to me attentively. I will show you that Tat and you will understand Tvam. And we will see together Asi. So the Asi portion is the Gyana and Vignana. To see the Tat and Tvam. So second verse he says that Jnanam te aham savijnanam. Jnanam is the knowledge. What is the knowledge I want to get? Para, higher. What is the higher knowledge? How to realize. So there are two things. Knowledge is about the realization, and once you are realized, it becomes vignana. You have understood what that knowledge is all about. Idam vakshyami asheshataha. Without a residue, I will explain to you everything. Yat jnatva na iha bhuyah anyat, knowing which nothing more here needs to be known. Jnatavyam avashishyate, that is remaining to be known. You will know everything what has to be known. So you don't have to know anything further than what is explained to you. So first portion is the Gyana, which we started at least 2 years ago. Then comes the sadhana, practice of whatever is known. So we started with Patanjali or whatever we started with. Then we had Aparoksha Anubhuti. Like that we have treaded the path. So then comes the sadhana. If the sadhana is working, then the person realizes. And if the person realizes, he gets vignana of that, wisdom. So prajna is also wisdom, vignana is also wisdom. So there are two Sanskrit words which talk about wisdom. Prajna, prajna. Jna is to know, pra is after knowing. Like the pradarshena shanti, prashanta. Like that you have pradarshena jna, prajna. That is, the person has understood what needs to be understood, has experienced what needs to be experienced, and hence he has wisdom. And it shines forth. So what Shankara did, he made Vijnana together. Wisdom itself is a realization. So Viveka Chudamani gets you the realization. So in the 4 books of Viveka Chudamani, the Shravana, Manana added together, Nididhyasana, and after that, how does a realized person behave? That also he has added to it. So one needs to experience this Jnana, Sadhana, then Anubhuti to get Vijnana. And that's the reason he wrote Aparoksha Anubhuti. Now he is saying that he is trying to motivate Arjuna, why he should take it. So he is talking about the rarity of this knowledge. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschit mam vetti tattvataha. So now what is that we are trying to do? One, mana urshaha. So all our minds are in urshatva. Urshatva means it's gone above. What is above? It's beyond the animal way of living. Now what is the animal way of living? We have to see within ourselves or in others, around us and within us. These 4 things constitute the animal realm of existence. Searching for food, sleeping, then breeding, then fearing. These are the 4 traits of a bird, animal, insect, all kind of these From a cow to a horse to cat to tiger to lion to mosquito to cockroach to any kind of fly, insect, and different kinds have these four. So they hunt for food, then they go for sleeping, then they breed, then they have the fear. In human relationships, if these four are the only thing which is there, it means the person is an animal man. So this person would view everything as though he is born for that. He or she is born for that. So this we have to see within ourselves, that is within myself and within others. So either it will prove to me that I am the animal man, or that other people with whom I am interacting is an animal man. So he's saying it's a very rare to get a human birth. Among thousands of men, kaschit yatati siddhahe, one one of them might strive for perception. Yatatam api siddhanam, even among those successful siddhas, kaschit mam vetti tattvataha, only one person would love to stay in my essence. This is what he says. Now let's understand in our experience what it is. Our experience is that one, we didn't know that we are meant for this food, sleeping, breeding, and fearing. When we entered spirituality, we came to know that okay, we are beyond these four. Now we are in a stage where we are able to realize what is fear, why it is fear, what is breeding, and do we need to really indulge in that. Then we know sleeping. Sleeping is not the real act of sleeping, it is the mind is in a sleepy mode. Sleepy mode in the sense that it is totally ignorant. What it is ignorant of? If you see the world over, they just wake up, brush up the teeth, then go and prepare something like coffee or tea, then have their breakfast, enter into office, okay, work for some time, earn the salary, come back home, then again do the same activity. In this working and non-working states, you have the complete ignorance of what is happening. What all is happening? Age is going by, that they are not worried. So that they are not aware.
Plus, he's back.
Yeah, it showed me that somebody removed you from the call. Okay, I don't know where I stopped. Anyway, so thing is, out of these four, what I was talking is that a normal person, if we really see, is that he wakes up in the morning, brushes his teeth, takes a bath, then or have a coffee and tea and takes a bath, then gets ready, have a breakfast, and then drives to the work. Then he puts all his energy for the work, and he comes back or she comes back and tired, and then starts preparing food, again eat the food, and then have some entertainment or whatever discussion, then go to sleep and again repeat the same thing next day morning. So what is ignorance here? That ignorance is that one is losing the life or the age is going by. Number two, has not done anything beyond whatever the normal animal life is all about. And three, the person is consistently in fear. What is going to happen? Will I lose my job? Will the money be there? What happens after 5 years from now? Is my investment safe? Should I do this? What will my children be? I want them to be like this. I want my wife or husband to be like this. I want my neighbor to be like this. I don't want any kind of diseases to manifest. So we'll do this way, we'll do that way. All these things are part of fear. And in general, from birth till death, the person is in complete sleep, has not understood what for he was here as human. So Krishna is saying that among thousands and thousands of humans, that mana urshatva is not found. That is the mind which has expanded, which can see beyond these four states. That itself is a rarity. Having found that rarity, let us say even one has it, that ability to reach the siddha itself is rare. And let's say if that person is a siddha also, always staying in my nature is the most rarest. That is, in any situation, the person is not in digbranta. That is, he is not illusioned by whatever is happening outside. So that's what he is trying to say. So he is trying to make himself as a deity for anybody to take that attributes. So he says that striving for perfection is only possible in the human life, and you can do it. So with that, he set a thing for the student. Okay. So now he talks about the Prakriti. He talks about apara Prakriti. That is the lower nature of the consciousness. So he says, Bhumihi.
1 minute, Vilas.
Yeah, sure.
Vilas, one question I have.
Sure.
You just mentioned perfection. You mentioned that state called perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you use the word perfection there?
Because the whole thing is imperfect and that state is perfect.
Okay.
The state of Krishna is perfect. Meaning there is no movement.
So striving for perfection is not wrong.
Striving for perfection is to let go of
not
yourself.
In the regular tasks.
Yes.
I do agree.
Yes, that is correct. So when I let go of myself, it turns into perfect. And that's the reason. Shall I continue?
Yes, Vilas, you can continue.
Okay, so he's now talking about apara prakriti, that is, he's talking about the 5 elements: bhumi, apaha, analaha, vayuhu, kham, manaha, buddhihi, evacha. So all of these 5 elements plus manas plus buddhi, ahankarahi, ahankaraha iti iyam me, egoism, thus bhinnaha prakritihi ashtada. These are my 8-fold things, which is just an instrument You don't have to take it as truth. They're just there. They're just scattered everywhere. But they're all part of my apara prakriti nature. So 5 elements, 6 is the mind, 7th is the intellect, buddhi, and the 8th is the ego, which a person feels that I am. But my higher nature, aparoyam itaha tu anyam. This is the inferior nature but different. Prakritim vidhi me param. From it do you know my higher nature. Jiva bhutanam mahabaho, the principle of life in beings. Yada yaya idam dharyate jagat. And by this only the whole world is held up. Meaning the prakriti, the apara prakriti is held by the para prakriti. So the jada nature is the subtle and the gross body. So then it is stained, is having a malinaha. Malinaha means it is stained. Okay, it is stained by what? Raga, dvesha, moha, and that is the ignorance. Bandha rupa, so it is binding that energy, which is, we can call it as atma, to its ignorance. So parartha, that is, we take what is unreal as real. So atma is unreal, we take that as real. So the person takes I am, and that is the same I am which keeps on establishing itself in different bodies. As long as that exists, this also is going to exist. So Krishna has split up himself into two parts. One which goes with the apara and para. Apara is the lowest form. So normally all people do things for apara. They earn money, they do jobs and family and relationships, and everything is for apara. And that's the reason when a person dies and you do the kriya karma, it is called as apara karma. Because that karma doesn't lead anywhere except for rejoining back to the 5 elements. So a person who keeps on doing the shraddha and all that will end up getting more lives than required.
1 minute. This apara karma, what we are doing, this is only related to those 8 items, right?
Yes.
It's a five and plus other 3.
Correct.
And then nothing to do with the moksha.
Nothing to do with moksha.
Why are we doing? Because he's already gone.
Why are we doing is that because we want those 5 elements plus 3 to come back to us.
Come back to us, huh?
See, now this is how the Vaidika dharma is defined. But one is that, now let's see what happens in the Vaidika dharma. Like my parents died, like my father died. Okay, now I go on keep giving tarpana. So that out of the 5 processes, one is the japa, tapa, then tarpana, marjana, and bhojana. These are the 5 things in a bhuta shuddhi. So what I'm going to do is that I'm taking the tarpana. What the tarpana is going to do is, once I give tarpana, it helps me in getting back the 5 elements. So if I'm giving a tarpana to my parents, like in the case of my father, his father, and his father. So father, grandfather, great grandfather, if I were to give the tarpana, what will happen is that his 5 elements plus my grandfather's 5 element plus my great grandfather's 5 element, my father's buddhi, the ahankara, and Manas, all the three will get rejoined in me because I am part of those three. Now what happens when I die? My son does the same karya, then these five elements come back to me because I have already done this tarpana. So now what happens is normally it is believed that a Pitru will take a lot of time for him to get a rebirth. So a day in that Pitru Loka is 1 year in the human realm of existence. So generally, let us say a parent passes at the age of 40, 45 or 50 or 55 of that child, and by the time this person dies, he will be getting around 35, 40 years roughly to do it. That means he has done the food delivery only for 40 days of that being which is yet to get a life. So even if there were to be 100 years of giving that food, it would have taken only 100 days. Whereas the person wouldn't stay for 100 years from the time this person has died. It's not possible. That means the person should have remained more than 130, 140 years to get 100 days of food for me, for myself. So, since my nature is to come back into the human world of existence, and I don't want to become an animal or a preta or something like that, the system is made in the Vaidika Dharma to give food to the ancestors. So that what happens here is that my son will be giving for me and my father, and my grandfather becomes a great grandfather for him, and his son will then give it to him and me and my father. So at any given point in time you are getting food. So what really happens is in around 200 years or 200 days, or within that 200 days, the person gets a body. This is the belief in the Apara Karya or in the Vaidika Dharma. So if you were to read the Brahmanas, then you will see that how this is split up into 4 categories and what happens and all that. So this is how the Pitru Karya is done.
Okay, that means in the shortest possible time they will come back. And
yeah,
they
it
will
is for
take
coming
birth.
back only. It is for coming back only. It is not for.
They will take birth anywhere in this world, right?
Yes, they will take birth anywhere in this world for which they require food. Now the problem.
Okay. Once they have taken the birth, then there is no need of any food.
Yes, the problem now is that we don't know whether they got or not, so they continue giving it.
Uh-huh.
Because no parent will come back and say, "Hey, stop it! I've already got it, right?"
Uh-huh.
So we keep on giving for our grandfather, the great grandfather, like that.
And that is the reason perhaps everybody is wanting a son, because the tarpana and all those kinds of things. So they'll say that if you don't do it, they will be
Preta.
preta or wandering without getting a body.
Correct. So the objective for a normal human being is to come back as a human being. Because going to an animal realm of existence is the most dangerous thing that can happen. So what the Vaidika Dharma they found out is there is a way out. The way out is you give tarpana.
How about then sannyasis? Sannyasi, for example, they don't have any family. What will happen to them?
The objective of being a sannyasi is to stop reflecting that I exist. So when you don't exist, then you don't require any body, right?
Mm.
See, the basic problem here, but is that, so we have something called as Trishanku. We need to understand this state of Trishanku. So we are, in general, if we take, there are people who believe I exist and there are people who believe I don't exist. And there are people who believe I exist and I don't exist, depends on situations. But all the three has a common feature of I exist. That has been there. Okay. Now, problem what happens here, in the cases of a normal person, he is not able to make up whether I exist or I don't exist, I exist and I don't exist. All these are not correctly known. When I say normal person, this can be also a spiritual person, a sadhaka or a pamara or a vishayi or whatever it is. So all have the same kind of this connotation. Only when the vairagya happens and that turns into sannyasa, he knows that he doesn't exist. Okay, so a perfect sannyasi is one who has given up this aspiration of coming back. And he is working on the path of liberation. Then it makes sense. And for that only Krishna says, Yoga Brashta, where he will be coming. Okay, now those people who are not yogis or a normal worldling, as a human being, what is his fear? His fear is that he is going to die. Now he doesn't want to die, but the body will not allow him not to die. So for that, the easy route to get back the body is by giving tarpana to the departed souls. In that way, you are guaranteed to get the body. Now, in my case, I am not doing it for my mother, nor I am doing it for my father. So what happens? I don't know.
It is a belief without any proof.
Yes, it's a belief without proof. Whereas my younger brother, he does it. He does for my father, he does for my mother, and he's been doing it, see, very judiciously, very faithfully, and that is very good. He's doing it. I have never commented that why are you doing it? It's not required. I have never commented even once. He's doing it very good. So they'll get some food to come back and do whatever they wanted to do. This is as per the Brahmana. Just like you have in the six philosophies, you have another thing called a Brahmana. So in that it talks about the rituals. In that this is there. And also this been incorporated into the Garuda Purana as well. So, but it is not universal, meaning to say that it is not that it is like only the Brahmins will do it and the remaining people don't do it. What if he's a Christian? What if he's a Muslim? What if he's somebody else? And then there is no answer to that.
I think everybody have one or other way of doing it. So all other people, those who do not know mantra, they do it on Amavasya day, Tarpana and all that.
Yeah, they do it.
Amongst the Hindus, they also do it, and then even Christians and Muslims also do it. So
yes.
Everybody gives to the dead.
Yes.
Once a year, in some form or the other.
Correct.
So it is very important that for us, we should not expect anything from anybody. I think we have to reach that stage.
Correct. So there is one problem here is that if you have only girl child, like in your case, then they cannot do any tarpana because they cannot. It's only can be done by a male child. So that's a problem.
I heard recently in Mysore, even girls also they have equal rights.
That's correct. So yes, that's correct. But in general, if you go by the book,
yes, it is not.
It is not there.
I think this is all something more than BK, not a proven concept.
Yes,
it is changed. I think over years.
Yes. So there are two things which are totally irrelevant, or I don't know. I can't use that word irrelevant. One is you on the 10th day they transfer the merit to the dead. Okay.
Sapindi.
No, not the Sapindi Karana is different. So,
Dharmodaka.
Dharmodaka.
Oh, that is moving from apavitra to pavitra.
No, it's not like that. Actually, what will happen is all relatives will come on the 10th day. That stone, what they have kept as the GV, they will give their punya to that GV, making it not be reborn in an animal realm of existence. At the
That is the purpose. Okay.
That is the purpose, and that is called as dharma udaka. Dharma is whatever good nature you have. Udaka is water. Through water only you can sanctify anything. There are only two elements in this world where you can sanctify. One is the fire and one is the water. These are the two elements. So we have every ritual having fire and water. Okay. So it's called Dharmodaka. So when we do this Dharmodaka on the 10th day, we are transferring the merit to the dead. So as in the case of my father and in the case of my mother, all the relatives had come, they had assembled, and then they give it. And every day that Sapindikarana is going to be done. It's not that it will be only done on that day. Sapindikarana means that you have three pindas. So I have my father and my grandfather and the great grandfather, and what will happen is that they are from the same clan or lineage. So Pindikarana is a process of identifying the pindas. Sapindikarana means identifying as one, because they are from the same clan. So they generally bring all of them together and then merge it. That is, from then onwards they become Pitrus. They are no longer Preta. Okay. So initially the process is on the Pretatma and then converted into Pitru in the end. So they merge it. So on the 10th day when they merge it, from that time onwards it is only Sapindikarana. So every year when they do it, they will merge all the three and then give it to the cow or whatever it is, and one small one will be treated as that GV and it will be kept for crow and that thing to eat. Otherwise it is Sapindikarana. So this is how it is thought to be, because the pinda is basically the physical body. So using the rice ball, what we are trying to do is to make those many beings arise, have food, and go away. So this is the concept with which this is practiced.
So that is also people doing Mahalayana to all people, entire family, Manupula, Sasya, and
Yes.
Pranis and all that.
No, whatever were from their clan. Whatever was their clan. So if it can be done for animals also, provided it was from their home.
Yeah, this is Mahalaya, they do it. I think one day in a family, they'll take care of all the names of those who
Correct.
departed.
Correct.
And they do it. I think in case if you don't have, I think that's the belief to ensure that they have done that, what you call a Pitru Runa, right?
Yes, they have taken care of the Pitru Runa, because that will be there and it can be your own or others. Meaning like...
But from the spirituality angle, there is no meaning. That's what you are telling here, correct?
Yes, from the spirituality angle, you cannot transfer merit to somebody, nor you can take karma of somebody or do anything about it.
Yeah, that means it is not as per our acharyas, this instruction, it is some other branch of practices.
Yes, it is in this one is there in the Brahmana. If you were to read the Brahmana, it talks about all the rituals.
Yeah, but in Veda, nothing is there, right? Like this?
Veda doesn't talk about anything after death at all.
Okay. I think that is the truth as per my understanding. These are for emotionally connected things.
This is not only emotionally, it is about how do we get back what we have lost. See, the sacred thing of losing is the body, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get it back? Now you are kept like I have kept my car outside. The registration number no longer exists. Now, how do I get my car back?
No, if it is so, they would have mentioned that also in the Veda. Why
Correct.
they have not mentioned?
No,
Everything Veda is talking about. Why not this?
Veda doesn't talk about this, and Upanishad also doesn't talk about this.
Yeah. And Shankaracharya also, I don't remember he has done anything in this area, right?
No, he has not done.
For his mother also, he has done very minimum things.
Yes.
Once the body is gone, it is over.
Correct.
Journey is over. End.
Yes. Because the actual truth is nothing that you can do about anybody dying, because it is a jada vastu.
That is what convincing.
But the ritualistic has started with the Vaidika dharma.
But see, when you take a sannyas dharma in these ashrams, they do their shraddha themselves. That means that shraddha, what exactly that means? Again, the same thing, if you don't get moksha, your body should come back. Because by then, when you're sannyasi, you are disconnected from your family. No. Because you don't have even gotra also. So naturally, the shraddha, what they do, is it equivalent to the shraddha what a family member do?
Yes, it is the same. The thing is that you are offering yourself, saying that in future you don't have anything to do with yourself.
Karma, ending all karmas.
Ending all apara karmas.
Apara.
This whole thing what we do every year or whatever is a apara karma, right?
Okay. See, then again, in the same, somewhere I read this in the same adhyaya, Bhagavad Gita. That means the 8 things, that is pancha bhutas, and then you have manasu buddhi ahankara. So that also you are inviting back, or you are inviting only this your body?
No. All the 8 will come. Your own manas is floating around with the Atma, right?
Okay. It's like exactly you are coming back in another avatara.
That is the basic reason you do this ritual, so that you will get back your body.
That means now I am here. Somebody may be doing my shraddha somewhere.
Yes.
My God. We can't even imagine that.
And they say, like my ex-colleague used to say, so we used to have this discussion almost on a daily basis. So he used to say that the food what we are eating today is because somebody has given food to us.
Belief.
Yeah, that's a belief. So which is also true if we really go by the way. Yes, it is due to his own karma or punya, whatever, he has got it. But it need not be that somebody is keep on feeding and that's the reason I'm eating. So what if somebody is a human being and he's not able to eat? So can you now say that no, his son didn't give and that's the reason he's not able to eat? It becomes really absurd. And then there are people who go to America, because this one is applicable only for Jambudvipa people only. The moment you cross Sapta Sagara, this is not applicable. Now, what if you fly to America then? Then what happens? Then this rule is not applicable.
It's broken, yes.
It's broken. And that is the reason all these Swamijis are forbidden to take foreign travel, because they are not supposed to travel Sapta Sagara.
This is called Sampradaya with no meaning.
So now a lot of people are in America or in Australia or any other country. Because this one, if you really look at the Pravara, what it says, it talks about the place in Jambu Dvipa and everything, right?
Yeah.
So now you have to say America Khande, Australia Khande, you should say that, right? We'll say Bharata Khande, Jambu Dvipe, Dandakaranye, Godavari, Kaveri, or whatever, wherever we are. Dakshine Tire, then Masa, then Paksha, and all that, right?
Yes.
But that rule doesn't apply to anyone who has gone outside from India. So then what happens? Let us say if a parent dies in America, then what happens? Now this rule cannot be applied. So either they did a mistake by going to America, or the children went to America and that way was a mistake, or Australia or England or wherever. Apart from Jambu Dvipa, this rule is not applicable. So it cannot be really taken in 100% sense in whichever way you go. Even if I am a ritualistic person, this is applicable as long as my parents and myself are in Jambu Dvipa. And the body will again be given back in the Jambu Dvipa. Now, how do I promise that? That is not possible.
So Manava Janma is possible only in this earth, right? No other bhumi is there.
No other bhumi is there. Because this gross body which can eat is only possible here. There are other realms of existence, but they don't require this kind of food. So they don't exist here. And we share a common bond between animals, birds and insects and us, to see that how we have crossed the samsara to become a human. So we'll take the remaining portion tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks, Ulas.
No problem. Absolutely fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you then. See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.